The ants in France stay mainly in your ponds. Good morning, everybody. How are you today? How was your weekend? Lots of reading. That's good. Yeah. Well, autumn has arrived in my neck of the woods. It's a little bit chilly in the morning. It's dark when the kids go to the bus. That kind of thing. If you're in the shade, it's a little too cold, and then you get in the sun and you're like, oh man, it's a little too hot. You know, the stresses of life, right? Funny thing is, if you sit right on the edge of the shadow where you're half in the shade and half in the sun, you'd think it would be perfect. But no, it's just too cold on one side, too hot on the other. Yeah, the stresses of life. What are you going to do? Well, let's start our wonderful day, our opportunity to be alive one more day. Requires, I think, the happy song. If you're going to live, you might as well live happy, right? Thank you, Andrew. Yeah, it was. Did a lot of work. A lot of homework for school. But also work. So good day, everybody. Welcome to Forex.Today. Let me remind you that trading is risky, not appropriate for everyone. Your past performance, however, good or bad, is not necessarily indicative of future results. But please always stay small, stay humble, focus on the long term, and never, ever, ever, never risk money you cannot afford to lose. My name is Wayne McDonell. I'm the Chief FX Market Strategist for TradersWay.com. We're a broker that offers foreign exchange traders access to the interbanking market through their choice of either a fixed spread, variable spread, or through an ECN model. Whatever fits. You may want to have a couple of different types of accounts, one for scalping, one for swing, so on and so forth. I do these sessions every day, 7:30 in the morning. Right, 7:30 a.m. New York time. That is approximately London lunch. Do that here at Forex.Today, Monday through Thursday. And then every Friday, I do a webinar there for the premium members only. And at FX Street, I'm also Forex Speaker of the Year. Cool. So thank you for your loyalty. Thank you for getting out of bed and dropping by. So, how do you feel? Do you have feelings? How do you feel? You feeling good? Yeah, what is a bed? Yeah, what are feelings? My wife gets them, she explains them to me, and they frighten me. I get an emotion back. I'm like, oh, I don't know what that is, but it scared the hell out of me. So how are you feeling about trading and stuff? Are you guys feeling good? Are you killing it right now, and you feel like the smartest guy in the world? Have you not been doing good, and you feel bad every time you pull the trigger? The market reverses. Tom says maybe a feeling of improvement, a small building of confidence, maybe. Antec says a bit of a mixed bag, yeah, and that could last a long time, right? Best thing on the mixed bag thing is don't have sort of a general, idea of, you generally want to improve as a trader. That never works, because what happens is you end up changing sort of everything. You end up walking in circles. So if you're a mixed bag person, pick one very specific thing that you're going to work on. This, like in particular this week. Like you're just going to trade as normal, but maybe you'll manage your stop a little bit differently and obviously in a way to improve. Or maybe you'll enter your trades a little bit differently and then do everything else normal. But just be very, very specific as you possibly can get. And just focus on that little tiny thing. Don't worry about anything else. Okay? So like using a golf analogy, you hit it high to the right every time. Okay, well, we'll get to that. That's obviously a problem. Your club face is open. You're swinging in such a way that puts a spin on the ball. Okay, fine. But right now we're working on your putting. Okay, and we're working on a 12-foot circle, and you want to leave it within 1 foot. You're not even trying to get it in the hole. Just every single time, a 12-foot putt, no matter how horrible or strange the green is, you can always get it within, you know what I mean? And we'll just develop that confidence there. Okay, and just we'll get that. We'll get the other stuff, but just not at the moment, not this week. Okay, and that's how you break it down. You can't just golf and say I want to get better and better and better. You're just wasting time. Okay, so that's how you deal with the mixed bag thing. And just think of it this way. Well, next year, next October, if you work on all these little tiny specific things, think about how good of a trader you could possibly be next October. If you're just working on very, very specific things. Do you understand? That's kind of the liberating idea that you need to have. To say, I'm doing this for next year. Won't next year be amazing? And I want you to have that mental picture in your mind, like, man, working on this one particular thing this week, or maybe the whole month of October, you're just focusing on that 12-foot putting circle. A lot of the time it goes in, but if you just miss it a little bit, but you're still within the 1 foot circle, the next one's a tap in, not a problem, just not a problem. We'll just do that over and over and over and over again. And then we'll do another thing and then another thing. And 1 year from now, you'll be a solid trader, right? But a solid trader working on other things. Okay, so envision that if you can. Got it? Good advice? Of course it's good advice. Gee whiz. Right? You ever watch the Holy Grail where God comes to Arthur? And he says, good idea, Lord. Of course it's a good idea. Arthur, King of the Britons. Yeah, so anyways. Excellent advice, sir. All right, so stop having fun. Stop having fun. But I'll tell you, if you can pull this together and do what you need to do, life gets pretty fun. So here I've been doing this for a long time, and I got something fun going on. Real fun. So it stays fun as the deals get bigger. All right, so yeah, okay, so it's a Monday. Let's start with doing some pivot points. Where should we start? Let's maybe just do some yen pairs. All right, the yen. Here we are. Let me double check. Yeah, you can see really we're just rangy. But you notice how we're coming down and kicking off last week's 21? That's a daily 21. It's nice though, right? Let me zip in. And you see what we're possibly just doing next leg up? That's all right. And so really on this chart, you can have this kind of done, or you can do it on a 4-hour if you wish. Maybe it's just easier to see. Okay, so now we got that thing kind of going on. Okay. But anyways, down into a sweet spot, roll reversal on the higher time frame. So look at this tiny one that we have on an hourly chart that threw us up to this upper spot. Okay. 3-wave correction down into a 618, down into I mean, you might even call this a bounce at 79, even though it isn't really. Roll reversal daily 21 kind of action. If you're a bull, you're probably watching this with great curiosity. I wouldn't be buying it now. You're a little bit late, yo. Like, where were you? You know, at the beginning of the day. But maybe a tracement into the 5 or the 8. And very often after you get a fresh cross, the 8, and then, but at the, you know, but on the longer term, you're probably just playing it off the 21. Because remember, if this makes a higher high, this 21 is going to keep coming up, and in 3 days it'll be touching the bottom of this candle, and you'll say, man, why didn't I buy it? All right, so this is in front of the deer. Miles says yen's going to get stronger. You mean yen's falling? Yen pair's falling? Yeah, could be a rabbit, could be. Oh my God, a squirrel is yelling at me through the window. Niet! Get out of here! Look at that rotten squirrel! Get out of here, you filthy varmint. Anyways, yeah, he was yelling at me through the window. Yeah, filthy tree rat. Can you hear him? Yeah. He wants to build a nest here or something. All right, come on. I have my redundant air conditioner unit hooked up to the window. I think it's time to get rid of it. The animals want to come in, live inside, I guess. I don't know. How funny. Yeah, it must be cold outside. Ugh, life, huh? That's life. Yeah, dangerous. Trading dangerous. You can get rabies. Oh, I did see the most amazing thing yesterday. I'm sitting on my back deck. It's beautiful, beautiful view. Nice quiet morning, enjoying the sun. And I look up and I see a hawk. Pretty normal thing around these parts. And then I see another one, and then 3 hawks, right? I'm like, that's really strange. Hawks typically hunt alone. There might be 3 hawks in the sky, but they're kind of just individuals, right? And then a 4th and a 5th. I'm like, that is strange, and they're fairly close. And then they seem to kind of fly to the same direction, right? So now I'm really taking notice. I wasn't even really looking up before, right? And all of a sudden, like 3 or 4 dozen hawks flew by going somewhere. A hip hawk parade is what I called it yesterday. Like, just like, oh my God, have you ever seen 50 hawks flying together like, like crows going somewhere together? I've never seen that in my entire life. These are generally, animals you only see one at a time. 50, like no joke, 50 flying together somewhere. Incredible, just absolutely amazing stuff. All right. Like a Hitchcock movie, but these are hawks. These are birds of prey. Right? They're not crows I'm talking about. I'm talking about big or fairly big, fairly powerful animals, that kill things. Yeah, it's worse if they're coming for you, right? No, no, they're definitely not turkey vultures. They're much smaller than that, James. Yeah, I got red-tailed hawks that live in my backyard, so I can tell you that they weren't Cooper's hawks. They were red tails and red-shouldered hawks. So yeah, no, I got my hawks down, brother. Pretty amazing. In Chinese, there's a possibility of some disaster happening from the hawk flying area. Interesting. No, yeah, Miles. What is this? All right. So, anyways, all right. So the other thing I wanted to make in here is that we were in the buy zone. This is like the buy zone, if you will, based on the pivot point, as they say, are faults. This is the pivot point, and you can see it was a quickie, but kind of looks like this, right? So it might be, if you're a bull, you're going to look at it that way, like you're back onto on your way to 80, right? And bear in mind, if I do this, it's still just to kick off the 21. It just hasn't happened yet. You're in the process of watching it, right? What? What's another good pair to be trading if you're going to get a big reversal of fortunes? This is the way to do. This is the boo. All right. Do. All right. So that's where we leave things off here. Oh, where's my drawing tool? Let me get my drawing tool. Yeah, Kiwi Yen, we can do that next, huh? Okay. Not quite as good. There's no real weekly pivot on there. Okay. No real weekly. But notice how one of the things I look at is right the low, the high. And it's a little bit of a stretch, but this is a 618 for a launch pad up. But also, just notice sort of the basics here, right? So if you were a bear on the open today on Sunday night or Monday morning, wherever you are, for me it's 5 p.m. in New York on Sunday. You'll notice that we had if you were a bear, you had a shot here to dump it off the weekly central, right? And your target would actually be S2, it'd be quite low, okay? And you would have sold it, and you probably, got knocked out. Let's say you sold it sort of in this area, or you sold it right off the pivot because that's what you wanted to do. All that makes sense to me. It didn't work out because you didn't break support. But that would have been a good trade. You wouldn't have made money, but it was a good trade. Nothing wrong with that at all. I mean, it was completely set up. If you were a bear, beautiful stuff, right? Cool. if you're a bull, and you can see I bought this, right? I bought this on Friday. If you're a bull, you want to support the support. Okay, and so here's sort of the 5/8 cross long, slight higher high. I wouldn't get all psyche about it because I think there's just as much resistance up here, sort of this area, right? I mean, all of it really, right? So I wouldn't get all, confident, puff out your chest because you're so, you're the world's greatest trader. But this could happen. And then it would probably do this, right? So that's the thought here. Miles was a bear at 27. Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. Like especially on the open here, selling at 27. Okay. But the one thing with pound yen is, when you're wrong, you can be very wrong quite quickly, right? I guess that's a terrible thing to say. When you're wrong, you could be very wrong, right? When you're wrong, when it's good, it's very good, but when it's wrong, it's horrible, something like that. So just be careful. So if you're a bear, you might try again. 2750-ish, probably I would feel a little more comfortable. If it's above 27, you would think that the bulls are going to continue to play it bullish, right? So what would a bull do here? Like this, right? And in that case, I could move my stop to like this area, or even just under there, right? So 26.5, maybe I can move it to 27. Like, it's only 50 pips, right? And on pound yen, that's a chewed up piece of corn. I mean, 50 pips on the pound yen ain't nothing. Sneeze, a wink of the eye, right? So anyways, it's something. But not a lot of pivot action in there, and that's where I kind of get skeptical, right? And you're like, it's not the world's greatest, except on the sell side, but now we're on the buy side of it. Mm. Andrew wants to know I think, well, hang on, I probably have it on another chart. Andrew wants this, I think. Let me pull up a template. Where's my day trading template? You want that one? Low, 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 low. Oh, I don't, I don't think that's going to be it. Hmm. I don't know. I don't know where I got it. Sorry, bro. No, but there's multiple indicators for those things. It's not all one indicator. Um, so that this is, similar, just different indicators, right? There's the pivots fibs with force essence, predictive pivot points, and pivot point history, and all the moving averages, right? So there's a lot going on. That's the thing I like about MT4 is you can customize it like a 50s hot rod, and nobody has this, the same. Yeah, what are the settings? You figured you run into that problem, huh? Yeah. So the thing is, when you do the settings out of the box for 4 sessions, it doesn't line up properly, right? And so you have to spend hours, like I did, mucking around with it to try to get it to work. And I guess you probably want open times, right? The labels, you just change it here. European description, London. What other label would it be? Yeah, it's going to be it. Oh, mine are nice and big. You try changing style? What else would it be? Days, show pips true, show description true, width 1, style 2. Yeah, didn't really change anything, huh? Yeah, sorry, Ryan. I don't know. I was just born awesome, I guess. I don't know. I can't change it, but yeah, I don't know. Or right click on chart properties, show object description checkbox. Oh, okay. So there you go. That's what it is. There we go. That is it. Boom. Shalakalaka. Top notch. 100 cement. Solid. 100 cement. Solid. Yeah. Paid in the. All right. So, yeah. So, yeah. So some pivots. Great. Let's do CAD is dangerous, right? Let's stay away from CAD. So I did Kiwi. Did we do it, or did we just open it up? To me, it seems very similar to what's going on. Got to worry about that a little bit, right? But I'm. This is what I'm hoping for. This kind of stuff, right? You know, this is kind of what I'm hoping for, but at this point, it's still hope. We need some stairs to step on, right? So right now, this is our challenge, and we're using Friday as the weekly M2, so the target is hopefully up in here. But you know, I'm a one-hit wonder on these things. I want up. And what about yeah, yeah, the question Ken says USD CAD. USD CAD you trade off of the big pivots. So we've just we're on one now. All right, so let's go here. And then I want to do the fundies. You got to do monthly on this, so let's do this indicator. Probably can delete that one. No. All right, so you know, so funny because I have another set of pivots that just work even better than these, and I don't know what they are, and it's kooky. Um, yeah. So I deleted these and they're still here. The funny thing is on this other chart over there, I have pivot points and they work awesome. And then you open up the chart and there's no indicator. They're like ghosts, like this. Like I just deleted. Look, there's no pivot points on this chart, except there are pivot points on this chart. So this other platform I have pivot points on that work really good. I just can't figure out what they are because they're not actually installed on the. So it's a little, yeah, it's spooky. And anyways, over there I have CAD. I guess you know what? It's just that I'm zoomed so far out. I guess no, I take it back. It's just I'm zoomed out. I'm looking at that on like a daily, so that's what it looks like to me. Actually, but zoomed in. All right, so anyways, oh, you know what? That account didn't connect. Hang on. Ah, no wonder they're not lined up. I'm sorry. Hang on. Happens to me from time to time. Let's do the time. At least I caught it. Happens to me from time to time. Let me log in over there. Come on, grab the server, bro. So anyways, what I want to get to is we were playing this big monthly pivot. There we go. I think I'm in this big monthly pivot, right? But if you start out sort of lower in the zone, it's not quite right. I guess let's do 4 hour. Yeah, okay. So you can see I drew this for you guys, obviously a while ago. This is the zone, okay? And now we're at the high side of the zone. Am I ready to buy it? Not. I mean, yes, Yes, but I'm more neutral now. And if you're neutral, then you're going to be worried that this thing's going to roll over at least a bit, even if it just does this. Still, um, when I highlighted this for you guys, we were down here, and I think that made a lot more sense, right? Especially if you're already not necessarily bullish on oil. So back down here, I was reminding you guys that oil could stay in the $50 barrel, price range for 10 or 20 years was the conversation down here. Okay. I may have also talked about the Canadian dollar being worth 50 cents when I was a kid through like the entire 1980s. I mean, I, I was like a child, so I can't tell you specifically what the currency exchange was back then, but I just remember, my recollection is, everything was twice as expensive in America. Okay, so like, and right now it's 75 cents, right? So this can certainly go up more. That's for sure. But my biz, right? What is it that I do? My biz is to pick a direction. Okay, that's the first part. That's called bias. That's called strategy. And then the second part of my business is to buy low at support. That's called tactics. So if I were to write a book, I would call it Strategic and Tactical Forex trading. Because you want strategy lined up with, fundamental strategies lined up with technical analysis. Oh, wait, that is the name of my book. Funny thing is, I trained someone how to trade Forex, and they went on and did their own service. And on their website, they write this whole thing where they had an epiphany about lining up strategy and tactics. And they're like, we have this strategy and we have this tactics, and this is a whole unique thing. And, and it was the cusp of their service, this whole idea of strategy and tactics. And I'm like, well, that's amazing because that's the name of my book, and I wrote that before I taught you how to trade Forex. I'm like, so where was the giant epiphany? Oh, I told you. No, I wouldn't say that. It's just funny. It's just funny. I'm like, it's one of these things where I bet you they honestly believe that's true. They're like, no, I was thinking about it one day and boom, it just came to me. And I'm like, yeah, but I also trained you for 3 years or longer how to trade Forex. And before that point, I even wrote a book called Strategic and Tactical Forex Trading. And I've done webinars all around the world, seen by hundreds of thousands of people. So, maybe it was that where you got your epiphany. No, it's funny. No, it's, we all have these epiphanies, right? Every poet is a thief because you're just inspired, and you don't necessarily know you were inspired. It just comes to you. It's not like this person would be blatantly ripping me off or something. I don't think that would be the case. I think they honestly believe, like, wow, that's my deep insight. I'm like, yeah, you read my book. You attended my webinars. I taught you how to trade. There's the epiphany. All right. So anyways, so tactically, I don't really like buying it up here. Now, if I was, I'd have to be doing it on a much smaller time frame, and I would have my stop close, right? I have to tell myself I'm a little late here, but if you're going to try to skim off the top a little bit because you're like, hey man, I think this is going to go to monthly M4, from here. Okay, there's, you're very likely correct. Okay, very likely correct. But they're higher pips, the higher risk pips, right? They're ugly pips, right? Oh, Mike read it twice. Sweet. Under the pillow, huh? Yeah, I had someone email me and they said I left a really good feedback on Amazon.com about the book. I'm like, oh, that's really cool. And I went to read it, and there's some bad reviews. Man. So, anyways. Very angry people out there. All right, so yeah, so anyways, this could still go up. They're just dangerous pips. But if you're going to kick it off of a day, like the hourly 21, 5A cross up, you still have the tactical entry. It's just a little bit higher risk of a strategy per se. It's a little late, but why not? Right? Like, you got the right time of day, you got the dynamic support, you're still using a pivot point. Fundamentally, it's all okay. It's just I'd rather you had done it a week ago or such. Like, do you remember when the Bank of Canada came out just a couple of days ago? And they're like, man, everything in Canada's great. And the Canadian dollar got strong. That was probably your entry. I was talking to somebody about it, and I'm like, oh, that's right. I was out golfing. How often do I do that? And I'm reading it on my phone as the news comes out, and I'm like, hey, check this out. I was actually with my father. I'm like, check this out. I'm on my cell phone. And like, check this out. And the Canadian dollar's ripper strong, and I'm reading the notes on my MT4. And I'm like, apparently Canada's happy about what's going on. And look at the Canadian dollar, it gets super strong, right? USD CAD was just tanking. I'm like, what a bunch of nonsense. Like, what the hell are they thinking? Right? Like, what the hell would they be thinking? And then, like, literally a half an hour later, I check again. I'm like, and I show my dad. I'm like, hey, look at the Canadian dollar now. So the USD CAD dropped 100 pips, and then a half an hour later, rose 100 pips. I'm like, there you go. That's what you would expect. So, anyways, that might have been, watch it drop and know it's going to stop kind of idea. So, rumor has it, Iraq is going to screw over OPEC. Well, right? Down comes oil. Here it comes, right? No, I think Russia's also trying to put together something, right? But Iraq's like, yeah, we got this thing in Mosul. We should be able to pump more oil. Like, mm-hmm. Is there a Rolls-Royce dealership in Baghdad? So, anyways, oil coming down, USD CAD going up. Okay. So we got the monthlies in their way on this. We got some weeklies. So we can fold the weekly in now. All right. So insert indicators, custom. La 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 do 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 do. Boom. Trader said, what? You know, once again, I'm looking over there and I see a pivot differently. This one says 133. Wait, sorry, yeah, 133.53, 133.50, 133. That's where we are now. So again, that one over there is printing slightly different than this one. And it's saying there's a pivot right here. Where's my drawing tool? It's saying 53 has got a pivot. So you gotta, you know, we need to get through this. But like I said, if you're going to try it, I have no problems with it. If you think oil is going to drop back below 50, which we're testing right this second, okay? If you think oil is going to bounce at 50 and go back to 51, then this is going to come down just like that. What do you think? Sorry about that. Yeah, let's do this. Dan's got the same trade plans, hey Dan? Nice. Yeah, lots of interest in the yens, huh? Ryan's reading the World Economic Outlook. Good for you, man. Peso. Peso. I think it's a little early for peso. I want to see this though. Cool. Nice click to link to another post. That's really smart. All right. Wow, this is beautiful. Down, up into that, down. The daily. Yeah, see, the thing I need to add to this is what dollar? Okay, you got that in there. All right, fine. You're sharing all my secrets. Shh. But here's the thing. Yeah, you got to time it with the repatriation, which I think you're going to be about a week early. Let me check the calendar. Yeah, I'm thinking more like Friday payday. Friday and Monday-ish. But maybe you have that in there. So you might be a bit early, but typically there's no reason for the Mexican peso to be stronger than the US dollar. What they're trying to do is also prevent hot money from flowing to the United States to catch the yield, stuff like that. And also another thing going on here, I don't know if you have it in here. All right, so you don't even have it in here. The other thing, the reason this is moving, guys, Okay, the beginning of my trade that I set up on the USD Mexican peso, yeah, the first part of this move that I outlined earlier, well, almost a month ago, had to do with the repatriation flow at the beginning of the month, right? This initial move. The secondary move that's occurred over the last week or so, that has to do with the U.S. election and the market believing that Hillary Clinton is going to win the U.S. election and become president of the United States. And that's what that flow is that we're having now. So, you know what? I guess that could live until the election, right? So that on Friday, or sorry, Monday is Monday the 1st or the 31st? 31st, right? Yeah, I might have to go to Boston. Who has time for all this stuff? Anyways, Monday is the 1st, so 31st. Tuesday is the 1st. So you would expect some peso move appreciation then, again on repatriation demand. And then the week after, you're going to have the election. I got to, right? November, is it the 8th, Super Tuesday? So November 8th is the election. And so, yeah, you know what? Peso could just get ripper strong if Trump, if the media keeps saying Trump's going to lose, Trump's going to lose, Trump's going to lose, peso gets strong, peso gets strong. But it might be a buy the rumor, sell the news kind of thing where it gets ripper strong, Hillary Clinton wins, and the peso falls off the face of the earth. So I don't know. Just don't get comfortable with exotic currencies unless you know what the hell you're doing. And I'm not saying you don't. I'm just saying be careful. Right? It was like someone the other day asked about like the euro Swiss franc, like it was just another currency, and I'm like, there's more to it than that, right? That's all. Yeah. No, but it's a beautiful post. I mean, really good work. And the way that you're linking this to Investopedia, okay, that's fine. What is this? World Bank. Nice. I mean, it's really smart. It's a smart post. It's looking good. Cool. I digress. So you got 5 thumbs up. Very good. So hopefully you get more that's deserving. I'm not logged in, but yeah, I'd give you a 3 thumbs up if I could. I mean, the charts were nice. The technicals were good. The charts were nice, but the thought process of you going through the repatriation flow idea, the World Bank issue, you know, all that kind of stuff, very well written, thought out. Okay. La la la. La 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 la. La 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 la. Yeah, I want to check this out. Hang on. Cool. Image by Barack Obama. Thank you, Barack. Yeah. They say if it ain't Barack, don't fix it. All right. All right. Euro. Long. Some interest in buying. Short. Oh. Net. Below waterline. So this is particularly interesting because it seems to me the market is bearish, but today the Euro USD is going up. Right? So what do you do? Well, that's for you to figure out, right? The market is net short euro. Euro is rising. Euro yen, for example, is on the 4-hour 21. Could be a short. What about Euro USD? And this is specifically Euro USD. Well, if you're still a bear like the market seems to be, this is old data. This goes back to last Tuesday. But if you believe the market is still net short euro, then you simply pick your levels of resistance, which you may consider shorting, and wait. Yeah, and then or unload the boat, I suppose. You're dumping euros, right? So I don't know, whatever. But yeah. Good news for Germany? Yeah, all right, sure. Okay, there might be other reasons, like maybe it's just time to take profit. So I think next year is going to be a good year in the sense that there's been enough risk with like what the hell is Japan going to do? What the hell is the European Union going to do? What the hell is the US going to do? All with interest rates and monetary policy and all these different things and the election. And I think we get through a lot of that stuff in the next few months. And I feel like there's a lot of money sitting on the sidelines waiting to get into the market. I think the stock market goes up 10 or 15% next year is kind of how it feels to me. We just get past some of that stuff and retail money starts coming back in. It's not just institutional. So like this year, one of the things I've been explaining about the sideways stock market, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe we did discuss this in January and February and March, that the stock market wasn't going to do anything in 2016. And one of the things I talked about, because if you remember, the year started with a big crash. How many people remember that part? January, February-ish, somewhere in there. There was a big crash. People were freaking out, right? I remember my friends were calling me. My wife's like, oh my God, look at our retirement account, right? We just lost a fortune. I'm like, and I told everybody, no. It's okay, right? Right? It's okay. It's trust Uncle Wayne here. And the way I explained it was simply a change in fundamentals. And because of that, investors that had been in a ZIRP, a zero interest rate policy investment strategy that had been in for 3 or 4 or 5 years, things like buying consumer staples and high dividends and all these different kinds of strategies that you have when the economy is bad. Suddenly, we're moving into this age of the Fed's going to raise interest rates. It started with 4, it was supposed to happen this year. Of course, they never did. December they'll raise once, but we're in this new world of the Fed raising interest rates, the velocity of which is slowed down, but still raising, not cutting, right? So what a professional investor has to do is change their mix of their portfolio from strategy A for the old economy to strategy B for the economy that's developing, right? Because they want to be in these trades 5, 10, 15, 20 years, let's say. And so the economy has changed, the monetary policy of the central bank has changed, therefore the portfolio, the mix of portfolio. So you got to get out of a bunch of trades, right? Investments, really, right? And buy some new investments. And I said, well, the market's just going to go right back to where it was. And it did, didn't it? It dropped like 10% in a week, but by a month later, we had earned it all back. My explanation was, it wasn't people cashing out, it was people just rebalancing and readjusting. And I think most of 2012 has been that way. They readjusted, but by the second half of the year, there was just all this issue, like, was the Fed going to raise interest rates September? Remember how close it was there for a while? It was almost 50-50. Are they going to raise in September? Are they going to raise in September and December, or only December? And what about this election? And then what's Draghi going to do? And the Bank of Japan, remember the Abenomics? They were going to like do something in September. Like there was all these things that were going to happen. So I think a lot of people just readjusted their portfolios, and now we just sit and wait. So I'm thinking, I think I'll buy a lot of Japanese yen early in the year, but I wouldn't be shocked by February if we have an early rally. Oh, I forgot about Brexit, right? But so, anyways, I don't know. I think it'll be interesting to get new money into the market, new blood, right? New blood. I think housing prices will continue to go up. People will continue to get jobs. People might switch out of their job into a better job, and the economy in the United States will just get better. There'll be less doomsday speak kind of stuff, right? I think people just feel like life is normal again, and what'll happen is retail money will come in and buy the stock market. You know what I mean? Because what else are you going to do? So the opposite of that is the stock market's gone up and the bond market's gone up. If people are not freaking out anymore, the bond market will go down and the stock market will go up. You see what I mean? Because typically the stock market and the bond market don't go up at the same time. Right? Lawrence says risk on, baby. Yeah, kind of, but I'm not that bullish. It's more like just the bearishness becomes less bearish. So what do they do with their money? They've been sitting on the fence, so maybe they put some in. So just less bearishness. So people are like, oh, okay, the stock market, but earnings and companies aren't doing stuff with their cash, they're hoarding cash, and oh, this and oh, that. Well, I think maybe, especially if we can get Europe off of like the roller coaster ride or submarine ride, right? If we can get Europe seeming to be a little better, right? Where it's less doomsday, less the end of the world for them, then that means there's a floor and there's only up. If you look at it that way, like if we've printed the bottom, like we've seen the worst, then everything is better. That's a floor. Right? So yeah, so maybe February things will be a lot better, and we'll see a change in sentiment is what I'm talking about, right? Less bad could be really, really good because the bulls are already in the market, right? So where's the new money coming from? I always ask myself, where's the new money coming from? What time of the day is it, right? If you're trading near the London close, well, where's the new money coming from? Or if it's a Friday, is new money going to come in right before the weekend, or is it likely to come out? I'm like, well, the money's more likely to flow out than flow in, right? So where's the money coming from? Where's the money going to? These are all questions that I think are important on the short term, but also on the long term, right? Pig. Okay. Fairly neutral. It's a little surprising, isn't it? I was in a pound trade, I don't know, like 2 days, and it seemed like price never changed. So I guess maybe that's what we're looking at here. Just wouldn't go up, wouldn't go down. Do, 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 do. This is interesting, isn't it? I think this is the interesting part. Remember how the yen pairs are dropping like a ton of bricks? You squeeze a lot of those guys out. Those are the buyers of Japanese yen. Not yen pairs, Japanese yen, which means yen pairs would come down. Well, there's a lot less of those guys. And really, nothing's really changed on the bears, right? They still are willing. So in the last week, we have had a move up on a lot of these pairs, and then a decline. So really, this is saying if you want to buy some of these things, you need to be prepared. Kiwi yen is dealing with a 4-hour 21. Euro yen's dealing with a 4-hour 21. CAD's being punished, right? So maybe some of these commodities may not be super good, but Aussie's testing role reversals. But at some point, if you want to be in the earlier parts of the move, you do need to buy dips or buy at support, even if it's not necessarily an uptrend. Okay, but just manage your risk appropriately. Yes, net bearish on euro. Yes. Okay, and yen here, they're net bullish, but a lot less than they used to be a few months ago. All right. So here's the water line. Okay, this is zero line. Hang on, let me get this. Okay, there's the water line. Okay, if the black line is above the water line, there are more bulls than bears, which means yen pairs would come down. Okay, and as you can see, okay, this sort of move here on the black line going net bullish drives price down. So this is the price down here. Okay, so if this is going up, this will come down. You can see even when it flattens out, price flattens out. So what we want to see is net bulls go to net bears, and this goes from USD yen being at 100 back to 125. Audi, okay. Once again, water line. So parity wouldn't be the right word; it'd be neutrality, Ryan. So again, this is Aussie versus US dollar, and it was almost neutral about a month ago. And it's slightly bullish now. Okay. You can see there's still, the reason it's close to neutrality, or let's say the consequence of being close to neutrality is if you look at like the increase of buyers, the increase of sellers, there's a slight increase in one over the other, but it's not perfectly clear, but slightly bullish. Okay. The neutral zone is way down here, and yes. Okay. Neutral. And Y is way bigger of an issue. Okay. Right? Just a fall off the face of the earth of trading activity. Huge collapse in bearishness and a huge collapse in bullishness. So let's say you're interested in trading dairy, but didn't want to trade kiwi. What's your fallback currency? You want to trade dairy. And you can't trade kiwi. Let's say you're already exposed. You're odd. Denmark. You got the G's, right? Something smells awry in Denmark. Is that Hamlet? Something smells awry in the state of Denmark. Something like that. Does anybody know their Shakespeare? That's Hamlet? Yeah. There you go. Why they make cheese. How many people trade the DKK? You know? So a currency pair you've never looked at. Let's see if it trades the way you would expect it to. Right? Right? It seems like it likes support and resistance, doesn't it? Anyways, got ourselves a little trend going, huh? Neato, huh? So, oh my God, look at the time. And funny, I was going to keep this shorter than normal, and now it's even longer than normal. That's how the life goes. It's because I love you, man. I get lost in your eyes. You guys are beautiful. I just lose track of time. I didn't even cover everything I needed to cover, but I'm already over time, and I got stuff. So we'll just have to pick up tomorrow. So maybe you'll be here tomorrow. Right on. Thank you, guys. Yeah, thank you for posting on Forex.Today. I look forward to seeing more. Remember, if you're not posting, at least review other people's thoughts and trade strategies and leave them some feedback or ask some questions. Or if you disagree, leave a comment and show them why you disagree. It doesn't have to be an argument, right? It can be constructive criticism and say, well, that sounds good, except, gold is at support and should go up today. So therefore, you being bearish on Aussie may your timing might be off, based on intermarket analysis. And great, we'll share that, bro. First of all, post if you're a bull on gold today. You should post your trade plan and then link to it in your comment and say, well, you're long on Aussie, or you're short on Aussie and I'm long on gold. Here's the link. And so, I wouldn't be as aggressive on the Aussie as you are, especially at the pivot point you point out. I mean, come on, man, share, collaborate, get involved, interaction, participation. How are you going to grow if you don't stick your neck out? So anyways, peace on earth. May the pips be with you. May your profits be above average. See you guys. Again, thank you for being on my team.